I watched this video earlier by Mizkif, who's a prominent content creator, streamer, and it was just a really sweet story about his Christmas, and I wanted to share it and discuss it.
Hey, this is kind of an impromptu video. I I don't really know how this is gonna go, but I just had one of the greatest nights of my life, and I've had the best Christmas gift I can ever ask for. So I thought I would share it with my community because I think it's pretty nice to hear. There's not really gonna be any editing in this because I'm just going to take whatever I say and just throw it on YouTube. I don't really have time for this. My editors are on break.
That's a really important point. A lot of people forget that these big content creators like have employees. They have editors, moderators, um, people who send them videos. Like for us smaller creators, it's really difficult because we're just doing this solo. We just fire up a video and react to it on the fly and maybe do some editing later on. Like it's actually really hard to get started and established. So first off, I want you to check out this video and spread the cheer, the holiday cheer, because this is a really nice Christmas story that he's about to tell. The video is I Can't Keep This a Secret. It's by Mizkif. Watch it, hit like, subscribe if you like Mizkif, but we'll keep watching.
And I forgot how to edit. So I'm just gonna throw it on YouTube and hope you guys enjoy it. So a lot of you guys know I was the class clown when I was younger. I was the kid that always got kicked out of class. I actually got almost expelled twice, and no teacher liked me. I was the most hated student every time with every teacher. No teacher liked me. They thought I was a nuisance, and they were right. I was a bad kid. I did sold drugs. I would always mock the teachers. I was always the kid in the back making jokes.
I didn't know when I first watched this, I kind of like didn't notice that he even said that he sold drugs and mocked the teachers. Don't know why I didn't notice that, but maybe it's just because I don't really see it as like that big of a deal, right? Because when he went to high school, would have probably been just selling weed, which is like legal now, so it's not like it doesn't stand out in my mind as being particularly horrible. But I know what you mean. Like teachers are super harsh, especially in high school when he probably I assume that's when he would have been selling drugs. But teachers can very often look really down on their students. I never really experienced this because I was kind of the quiet, smart kid who, I mean, I got in trouble on occasion, but like once high school hit, I got in a lot less trouble, mostly because I just wasn't getting in fights. But a lot of teachers will look down on people, and then once you become an adult and you look at how much like elementary school teachers and high school teachers make, you're like, oof, oof.
And to a lot of them, I just didn't have a future. And they were very explicit in telling me all the time and how I was a bad kid.
And by that I mean, oof, that person makes that little amount of money, and they were looking down on me or my buddy over here, or this person. A lot of people, a lot of people who get into trouble end up like working in trades, so they're making like two to three to four to five times as much as a teacher does.
Except one teacher. And this one teacher was part of the reason why I always tried hard, is because this one teacher believed in me when I was in fifth grade. I was a bad kid in fifth grade, who would have thought? And this one teacher, despite the fact that I was a bad kid and he was a new teacher, he, at the end of the year, said to me, he was like, Matt, when you're older, you're my first kid I ever had as a kid, as a student, and you sucked. But when you're older, you're going to be very successful, and I want you to come back to me, and I want you to say thank you. because he would talk to me a lot. He would try to give me life lessons, and he wanted me to do well.
It sounds like a teacher who is really passionate, and a lot of teachers get the just the soul sucked out of them, and they lose that passion and that fire for their job. But hopefully, I feel like the moral of this story is that it hasn't happened to that guy, and maybe the like Mizkif making this video and what happens in this story really kind of reignites that spark in him and maybe some other teachers, because it's brutal. Like, these people are underpaid, overworked. They basically work overtime for free, right? They're just expected to like mark all this stuff and spend their own money on all this crap.
And he believed in me. He's the only teacher that really believed in me. I went through middle school, high school. Every teacher thought I was the bad kid. Every teacher just knew who I was. And they're like, oh, he's in my class. Just suspend him at this point. And he was the only one that really was like, yeah, I when you're successful, I want you to come back to me. And I want you to say thank you for everything. And I tried contacting this guy so many times over the years. I've tried calling the school that he worked at, but I'm a white male, so they won't let me anywhere near that thing. And I tried to go there, they wouldn't let me in.
Yeah, that's that's kind of weird. Like, I mean, it's not weird nowadays with how like guarded schools are. They got like armed guards and stuff. But from like an older perspective, that is pretty crazy, because it's like you're just an adult who like wants to contact a teacher, and they can just like escort you. You'd think even with the like armed guards, they would just like be like, all right, this armed guard is gonna escort you to go talk to this teacher, and like be like, oh, well, this teacher's probably on break at such and such time. I'll escort you to go talk to them. Because you'd think they would kind of be a little bit flexible to stuff like this, where somebody wants to catch up with somebody who's kind of like a had a big impact on their life.
I've I've tried everything. Facebook didn't work. And I've throughout my success on Twitch and everything else, I've always thought of him because I've always said to myself, this is the guy that really made me driven to go. I've always wanted to see him, but he was never anywhere to be found. And I'm home for the holidays, and I go to midnight mass with my family. I go to church, right? The little Christian boy that I am. I go to church with my family, and it's pretty dead. I'm like, it's like, you know, not looking too good. The intro's about to be over, and there's not really many people there. And I'm looking around. I'm like, where's the people? And I look, and I'm like, no way, is that him? Is that my teacher sitting right over there? And I could tell it's him. And I'm asking my dad. I'm like, Dad, is that who I think it is? And he's like, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm like, Dad, come on, it's the teacher I always talk about. This is the guy. He's the guy that believed in me. And my dad looks close. He's like, wait, I think that's him. I start crying. And the whole mass, I'm just crying the entire time. Just
And I can get that viewpoint. Um, it's hard, right? Because I feel like most people who accomplish anything in life have like some big motivating factor, or like usually it's a several big motivating factors. Um, and like Ms. Kiff's like close with his family, so like that's one big motivating factor. But this this person believing in him from a young age is another motivating factor. And I uh I hope like a lot of people can find that in some sort of way. And even if it's sometimes it's not always just somebody believing in you. Sometimes it's people not believing in you. For me, that's kind of the case, right? Because I mean, a lot of people believe in me and a lot of things that I've done in my life, like going to college, succeeding in that way, um, like getting a good career. I've done that, right? I've actually accomplished quite a few of my life goals. But when those people believe in me, it's usually because they know me really well. They're like my family or close friends, or they went to school with me, or they've worked with me. They can see my intelligence, my abilities, and my focus and my drive. So it's kind of like it becomes like so obvious. It's a thing you like pick up about myself. So like it's almost like it means less to me because it's like, well, of course you see that side of me, but there's like more to me, and maybe I can't accomplish this or whatever it happens to be. So I've also had people who completely doubt me, who just assume that I'm full of crap when I told them like I want to do these all these different things in my life. And a lot of people just I mean, when I was like right out of high school, um I was just friends with some bad people. Well, I had several groups of friends, and some of them were great people, like absolutely, but other groups of friends were like pretty terrible. Ended up being absolutely horrible people, horrendous people, like just some of the most spiteful, hateful, negative people that I've ever known. And they like continue to be that even though they haven't been in my life for years and years. Like, um, and they doubted me. They said all kinds of like horrible things about me and have, you know, genuinely done things to try to make my life harder. And just completely doubted me, doubted my intelligence, my abilities. And but that motivated me. That made me think like I'm gonna show these idiots who who the true idiot is, and it's them. They have horrible lives, and they live in cesspools of negativity. Um, so I hope anybody watching this and anybody who watches Mizkif's video, they can try to find that motivation themselves in their lives if they don't have it, or maybe they do have it. Um, and I hope people can like nurture it because you probably do have it. You probably do have multiple sources yourself of motivation. Focus in on them because they're important, and it's kind of like a thing where you need to like reflect back on it, like he talks about doing, that he's constantly thought about this teacher over the years, and that kind of like probably frequently reignites that inspiration inside of Mizkif.
The fact that I see him, and I was just so happy. I mean, I've been looking for him for like 10 years to say thank you. And there he is at midnight mass, you know, with his family. I mean, he had a kid. His kid was all grown up now. When I first met him, he was born. And after mass, you hear it, that one famous song starts playing, the one that was in Home Alone when the grandpa talks to the child. What was it? I can't even think right now. And I go up to him and I start crying, and he looks at me and he starts crying too. He knew that I've who I was, and he knew that I became successful, and he looks at me and goes, "I'm so fucking proud of you." And I was really happy. Um, it was nice, and I told him, I'm like, he's like, that this is the best Christmas gift I could have ever got. And I texted him afterwards, 'cause I'm like, I want to see you, right? And he says to me, I say, I'll call you tomorrow after Christmas stuff. I have a ton to talk to you about. This was the best Christmas present to me. And he said, for me too. It's gonna sound lame. He says, I'm so proud of you.
Let it out, man. Let it out.
I'm not surprised. You always had it, but following through, that takes something special. Great job. Can't wait to hear the stories. I mean, it's It's the best gift I ever could receive. Then his son immediately asks me, "Wait, do you know speed?" And I just told him I don't. And he said, he kind of walked away. But it was the best Christmas gift I ever could ask for. Um, I don't know. I just wanted to share it with you guys. It's kind of a lame story, but um, I've worked hard. I've worked very hard over the years, and he's part of the reason why I did. You know, I had no teachers that really believed in me, but he was the one that made me keep pushing because I wanted him to say, "I'm proud of you." You know, it just takes one teacher, and he was that one teacher that made me keep going. And I'm just so happy I saw him after all these years. And it was the best Christmas gift I ever could ask for. Um, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. I know it's Christmas. I know that you're probably busy, but um, yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too, man. I love this story, and I love that the teacher says, "I always knew you had it in you, but working hard at it is is difficult." Because that's true. A lot of people do have an enormous amount of potential in them, and there's a lot of value in people that goes unseen and unappreciated, right? Because if no one had ever done that for Mizkif here, he wouldn't have seen that value in himself, and who knows where he would have ended up. Now, he describes himself as being like a class clown throughout school. That's hard. That's genuinely hard. It's hard to be funny. It's hard to um, it's hard to make people laugh. It's hard to be entertaining, right? And if Miss Kiff is good at anything, it's being an entertainer. He's done a lot, like with the streaming space and everything. He's really as a creator that I've not watched a ton of his content. A lot of his content that I've consumed, it's when he's doing like special events and collaborating with other content creators. But he's definitely done some like cool stuff, right? Like different shows.
And thank you guys for everything. It's,
And it's especially hard, like as much as kids laugh at like dumb stuff like farts and poop jokes, um, at the same time, to consistently be funny throughout your entire schooling is pretty hard. Like people's taste change, what they find funny changes over time. And like being witty requires a lot of intelligence, and to be entertaining is super hard, right? And to do so in a field of like streaming or like YouTube, this online content creation, it's super competitive. There's tons of people can just like start up their computer and hit record and get going. Um, so to actually be like one of the top people in doing that is impressive. And that's a genuine skill. That's an incredibly valuable skill. Like Ms. Giff has made millions of dollars.
I'm in a hotel room. I'm in the business meeting center of the hotel room telling you the story. But I've been crying all night because it's just been the best. It's been the best Christmas I've had in probably over a decade since I got my Nintendo DS. You're not beating that one. I'm sorry, but it was awesome. Um, I just wanted to share it with you guys. It was a great experience. I have no idea who's watching this video, but thanks. Thank you to my teacher.
And there's things that people can pick up about you, especially a teacher, right? Like a teacher stuck with you for a full like school year. Um, they're gonna pick up on things about you besides just you being funny or a troubled kid or just a few like attributes about you. Um, like think about the times when the things you pick up about the people around you. Say you got like a niece or a nephew or a kid of your own. There's a lot of stuff you can like notice and be like, oh, these kind of character traits, well, they're probably not going to stay around because it's just kid stuff. But you can kind of see how kids like what they have going for them and what they don't, and what skills are probably they're going to end up with, and what kind of person they might end up being. Now, oftentimes that's kind of not what ends up happening, right? But there's a lot of stuff that goes completely overlooked. Like all of his other teachers didn't see this in him at all, but one did, and that's really cool. It's really uplifting. I really like this video. Go check it out yourself. Spread the holiday cheer by giving this video a view and a like. Hit subscribe, sure. I mean, check it out.